Welcome, Haunters. I'm your host, Ed Gannon, professional haunter, Something Wicked Productions, Wick-Ed Amusements, and Haunt Dogs. And in this episode of Something Wicked, we'll talk about shows after the corona pandemic. What changes? What stays the standard? How do we haunt? And do we even haunt at all? Well, none of us have ever dealt with anything like 2020 before.
Called Never Fun Losing.
The past 2 months, I've gotten a lot of inquiries as to what will October 2020 be like.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks.
How should haunts proceed? Will they be allowed to open, or should they open at all? When the world first broke from the virus, most of us assumed Halloween was so far away it would not be greatly affected. Well, we were wrong. The reality is, as of this writing, 5 of the largest haunted attractions and theme parks will not be opening for Halloween October shows. They are proprietors and representatives I have known for many years and people I respect. It pains me to see yet another seasonal industry affected by this calamity. And yet, you can't argue with the wisdom to cancel events that would put thousands of people in small spaces with big groups of strangers and thereby putting them at risk. So what do? Is Halloween another casualty of 2020? Or is it another entity that will be transformed by it? The answer is yes and yes. What I'm saying is, unfortunately, a number of places will close, some never to reopen, which is heartbreaking. And others will open but have to change how we do business this year. We'll break this down into 2 simple questions and explore them. 1, should you open for the 2020 season? And 2, if you are presenting a show in 2020, how do you proceed? The question whether to open for most is a financial one. We all want to open our shows, from our actors and staff to management and even our guests. The answer you need to discover is, can you afford to open? Can you afford not to open? While only you can figure this out, keep in mind, like every other business that deals with the public right now, there are extra costs involved in opening, and you'll more than likely have reduced attendance. That's not a great combo. If you are financially okay without opening your haunt, you can either take the safe road and pass the season by, perhaps do some charity work instead, or open your show without depending on its income to carry you through till next year. If you're in a position where if you don't open, you're out of the haunt business, you have to decide if that is the business you want to be in. Hard realities with even harder choices. Some will roll those dice, and many do great. Either way, my heart is with you. Believe me, I've been there. Twice.
Oh, no!
At this point, entertainments like movie theaters and such opening up are contingent on a Stage 3 status as assigned by the government. With people not wearing protective gear in public and some refusing to social distance, COVID-19 cases are rising again exponentially. We are haunters. We have seen a few zombie movies. This is how they all start. Are people really in such denial that they can't see that? Well, when we see those movies and say, how could that happen? Now we know exactly how that happened. But I won't get on that soapbox on this show.
Hey!
Suffice to say, perceived safety is sometimes even more important than actual safety. And wearing masks is for the safety of others, not yourself. Understand that. The optics will determine how Halloween 2020 will operate. Okay, so let's say you are going to open the season. Great. There are understandably some challenges. Firstly, depending upon your area, we have to make sure you will be allowed to open. After that, you'll need to reorganize your queue line with tape on the floor to help guests social distance their groups. Will you allow guests in without masks in October? That is up to you. Big question. Some will wear them, some won't. You will need to police that on your own. My vote? If you still need a mask to go to the supermarket in October, I would require guests to wear them or refuse entry. At this point, everybody has a mask of their own. And don't forget to put that on your website as well. Remember, it's how it looks that's important, not whether you believe it does any good or not. Will you require masks for your actors? I've had a lot of questions about this lately too. Come on, people, we wear masks all the time. If there were a group other than surgeons that should have no difficulty adjusting to wearing masks, it's haunters, right? Yes, I would say wear them. Incorporate them into the costume or keep actors without masks far enough away that it should be okay. Across a room, it can be hard to scare a group, but there are tricks for that too. Or they can be the distraction for a closer masked actor to do the heavy lifting. Most haunters I know are already designing some sort of mask into their costume. Some won't have to change a thing. Tough though, we are an entertainment that relies on invading your personal space for its effectiveness, so this must be adjusted as well. Be ready for additional costs. You will need to provide hand sanitizer for your guests and actors. Obviously, a no-touch show is essential, period. I haven't asked something else, and no, I would not do a virus-related theme to your show if you can help it. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it, no pun intended, and most of the public is too. Give guests an escape. Give them monsters they can see, avoid, run from, and survive unscathed. People need that now. We provide a public service. People need a safe place to express their frustrations, get it out, yell, then relax and laugh about it.
Move! Holy shit! Run!
We will have to limit how many guests enter the attraction at one time. We will need to have more time in between those groups to include some version of social distancing inside. This means less attendance in a given number of hours. Some will, if able, increase the number of hours their show is open to help offset that. Make sure your staff is taken care of with extra breaks for longer hours, and your guests are entertained more than usual while waiting in line. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of waiting in line myself. Which brings me to the silver lining of this crisis. And yes, there is one. Often, the biggest criticism you hear with a show is that it wasn't long enough or scary enough. This is usually because our profit is a numbers game. The more guests we accommodate, the more money we make, like any entertainment. The thing is, if we are being forced to put people in slower with more space between them, this is the perfect opportunity for us to give the guests exactly what they want. What I call a boutique experience. It's your show with extra time taken with each group or guest so they all leave feeling like that performance was executed just for them. That makes memories. That generates satisfaction. That gives you good reviews, which this year will be especially important. Beef up your online game, folks. Guests will be looking to see which haunts are even open, dates, times, how long the lines are, what restrictions are guests under. Are the actors required to wear masks too? Is it safe? And reviews from your guests. While we can't control what reviews guests give us, we can control the show they will eventually review, thereby offering them a good product to start off with. Most will reflect that online. Bottom line is this. If you can open and want to open, decide whether you should open. Weigh out all your options before making those commitments, I beg you. Contact your town. Speak to your actors and staff. Ask some prospective attendees even. Make no mistake, this season will be an experiment. Nobody knows exactly what will happen. One thing for certain, it won't be a normal Halloween as we know it, and hopefully we will get back to something more familiar soon. But keep in mind, some things in our world have changed, and aspects of that will never be the same. This does not have to be a bad thing. The only bad part would be continuing as we always have without being prepared for the changes that may come. A final word. Stubbornly ignoring the changes around us simply because we don't want things to be different, but we don't want to do the work we all need to do is a recipe for failure. My advice? Keep current. be aware. Be good to each other. Treat people with respect. Be safe. Be proactive. And haunt on, my friends. Look, it's time. Well, we'll wrap up this segment for now. In future episodes, we'll talk about more aspects of professional haunting, their methods, philosophies, how-tos, and so much more. But I see our moments here are up. So until next time, be safe. And by the way, keep me posted on how things go with your season. Keep me posted on prep for your shows. I want to know how you guys are doing and what you're doing. So keep in contact with me. I'm easy to find at edgwicked@aol.com, or you can reach me here on Hauntcast. I love you guys. This is Wick-Ed Gannon, www.somethingwickedproductions.com, saying, have a wicked day.
I'm going now. Heaven help you.
Please like and follow the podcast. Stalk us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links in the description. And help us by sharing Hauntcast with all your haunted Halloween brethren. Until next time, stay scary.